What's going on, guys? What's cracking today? What I saw from the title of this, we're gonna go over some cars that I think are valuable and something that I've been wanting to purchase or think is worth it within the price range. So we've got 100,000. We'll go down to say 80,000 range. We'll do 60, and then we'll do the 40,000 range. I don't think there's anything really around 20 I would want. I guess we could get some older stuff, but then it gets a little weird. So we're gonna use those four ranges today. Before I get into this, I wanna thank one good sponsor for me. That is Ulsa Tools. If you guys do me a favor, go down below and click the link. You can go down there and get 10% off your next order. They make a variation of tools. They've got wrenches, they've got pry bars, you name it, they've got it. Go down below, check them out, guys. Great people and great products. Let's go ahead and jump into this. At the $100,000 range, you guys are probably gonna know this, the Dodge Viper Gen 5. Now, this is specific to the Gen 5 for me, as the other models were typical Chrysler products. And what I mean by that is the fit, finish, and quality just wasn't there. Cool cars, looked beautiful, sounded great, but the overall quality was terrible. 10, 20,000 miles, they were having major issues. And that to me is not acceptable, especially when I have this and it has around 180,000 miles and it doesn't have the same kind of problems that product would. Gen 5 is not like that. The Gen 5 is a car that is next level, with Calvo and Nth Motor out there now showing how much power they can make on stock engines, which is ridiculous. They have stock engine builds out there making 1,600 wheel horsepower using a factory trans, which to me is insane. The TR6060 trans, it comes in as bulletproof, within reason, and a lot of the guys are modding them like crazy. The price of them are going up though, so making this video, saying 100,000 used to get you a GTS or something nice. Now that's where GT prices are in lower models, so with higher mileage. The market's small on them. Just so you guys know, they made just a little over 2,000 total Gen 5s worldwide. So you want to talk about a rare car? Believe it or not, they're much rarer to see than actually anything like a Lamborghini or anything, like a Huracan or a Gallardo. I think they've made already the Huracan. I think they made something like 12,000 of those cars. It's insane. So compared to those, these cars are uber rare. A lot have been wrecked already too, mostly because they're a little finicky to drive, but great car. Love the way they look, love the way they sound, especially when modified. Big twin turbo kits for those things are insane. They make stupid power, like I mentioned there earlier, and they just do everything right. The interior to me looks perfect, everything wrapped in leather. Is there a few things that could be done a little bit better? Absolutely. It's still a Dodge. It's not exactly the pinnacle of the best when it comes to quality, but to me, I think that's where I would want to be at the 100,000 mark range. There's other cars too, and people are thinking, what about a used GT3? What about this? Those cars are great. I personally, that's not for me. I prefer one true manual, which I know you can get in a GT3, but I prefer something with a long front end, a long nose. I love the big V10 in it. I just love the look, the sound. I just like everything about it. All around, it hits every point to me. Rear wheel drive, I love it. If I could afford it, that would definitely be the next car I'd get at that $100,000 mark. Do I have that money? No, but would I like to dream about it? Sure as heck would. For our next one here, guys, it's at the $80,000 mark, and this is where I get a little iffy and I'm always unsure where to say with this one, but in my opinion, I'm going to say the Shelby GT350. That is a great car. TR6060 again, great sounding engine. Again, there's a couple companies out there making twin turbo kits for them, and they are just rippers at that point. I know they do have a few small issues. I know there's problems with vibration because of the way the engine's designed and the way the mounts are set up, that people have had issues with the actual oil filter coming loose. That's stuff that you can fix and modify. If you know those cars and love those, it's really not a problem. But for me, the GT350 is where it's at. Even the Mustang GT in general is a great car, but we'll get to that later. We'll talk and touch on that subject. GT350 with the flat plane crank, if you guys it's just phenomenal sound. The way it does everything is just perfect in my eyes. Again, TR6060, great rear end on those cars, great tire, great look, great interior. For under 80 grand, I just don't see anything else. I know the guys are really like, what about Hellcats? What about those? They're just not as agile. Are they as powerful as the Hellcats and the Z01? No, just like, they have the GT500 now. I think that does start under 80 or might be right there. But to me, again, no manual. So for me, I get it. Are the automatics faster? Absolutely. Are as fun to me? No. So I'm looking more of an all-around fun car, what I'm going to enjoy because I'm driving it. I'm not trying to set any records. That is the car I'd go for at the $80,000 mark. I just think, again, all-around great car. Ford went over the top with that, and in my opinion, they kind of missed the mark on the GT500. I think it's great, but I think that should have still been offered with a manual, personal opinion. Again, I get the 8-speed automatic that went with the GT500, fantastic, but it just doesn't quite hit the mark for me. Now, we were just at the 100,000, 80,000, now we're down to the 60,000 mark, and this is where I have a hard time. I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% if I feel this is what I'd want, but in my opinion, I think if I'm going this route, this is hard for me. I thought maybe the Supra, but realistically, I think I would go Porsche Cayman in this route. It's not as fast, but it offers a manual. It does everything I want. Handles great, has great reviews, has Porsche reliability and quality. I know people are probably thinking German, but if you actually look it up, Porsche has some of the best reliability and some of the best customer service in the market, right there with Lexus, which is pretty impressive. Again, small, I think that's what makes Porsche special in the fact that people would say they don't make big changes. Well, because of that reason, kind of like Toyota, they're able to keep things reliable because, you know, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? It's an old saying. So to me, I think the Cayman would be it. They think the base horsepower they start knows is 300. They can get up into the 400 horsepower range with a 6-speed manual or a dual clutch transmission, whichever you prefer. I would obviously opt again for the manual. I think that's where that car will shine. Great handling, great interior. The interior of this car is beautiful. The engine noise, I really do not like the flat 6 of the Cayman. I really don't like that noise it makes. Kind of the reason why I stayed away from the Porsche GT3. I know people will probably argue, Ryan, you're an idiot. That's probably one of the best selling features of something like the GT3 or the GT4 version of the Porsche Cayman. They sound fantastic in your opinion. That's great. And I know there's a lot of people who are going to disagree with me right now. In my opinion, I just don't think they sounded that great, even with proper exhaust. Something about the engine just doesn't do it for me. It's kind of like Subarus. That boxer noise is neat, but it's not for me. I just wouldn't want to go down that route. Again, these cars can make good power too if you want to modify them. Nothing as crazy as the cars I aforementioned there earlier, but they are good cars and, like I said, pretty reliable, decent price. I think they actually start just under 60,000 new. And that's another thing I should probably clarify here, guys. I'm not talking brand new prices here either. I'm talking, you know, somewhat used or relatively close. You know, someone might say, well, GT350 is worth this much, or a Viper new was X amount. I think of Viper new in the low models or something like just over 100 grand. And I think eventually they lowered it. But I'm talking relative to the market now, where the cars are selling at. So for me, a Cayman would be around this $60,000 range. Now, I'm not 100%, but that's where I think I would want to be at. And last but not least, and this one's the hardest because there's a bunch of cool cars in this category, right? So under 40,000 is a lot, right? And we're talking used, new, whatever. You know, you've got the STI, you've got Evo, you've got the Camaro, you've got the Mustang, you've got the Challenger. There's a lot of cars there in this category, and a lot of people are in this area. So they're like, what would you do? And what is the best bang for your buck? What's going to give you the most return? What's going to be the easiest to modify? What has the most information out there for me? And I'm going to say a Mustang GT. That's where I would go. Downside for me is, again, I like the manual. Unfortunately, the manual that comes in the Mustang GT is pretty much hot trash. When it comes to power-wise, they have lockout. It is a body-mounted shifter, not ideal. They can be fixed. I actually live here in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. If you are a Mustang guy, Ben Calamer actually lives in this town. He rebuilds all his transmission, T56, all that stuff. He lives about 2 miles from my house here, believe it or not. So the Supra behind me actually has a T56 Magnum in it. Because I know if anything ever goes wrong, I can just drop it off to him and have him fix it. So Mustang GT would be it. The 6R80 automatic transmission, fantastic. And the new 10R80, also fantastic. They've been known to hold a ton of power when going twin turbo, supercharged, so on and so forth. Again, modification for those cars, very easy, very cheap. Getting parts for them is readily available, and someone say, well, Ryan, they're not that cheap. Looking, if you're comparing it to other cars that I see in the market and stuff, yes, they're relatively cheap, especially when you start buying stuff for this, or I start looking at stuff at GTRs or other, like Porsche Cayman even parts are outrageous. American parts, American cars tend to be a lot cheaper, especially because I live here in the US. They're able to do a lot, and I can order stuff from like places like Summit Racing, which is amazing. It's the kind of thing I can't do, and I've learned real quick that I love this Supra behind me, but starting to get to the point that is it really worth the headache involved in getting some parts? Things are getting old on it. If I was going to go the $40,000 range, the Mustang GT would be it. The Camaro's close there. I just don't like the way they look really anymore. Also, the visibility of those is pretty horrible. They're not exactly light too. Not that the Mustang GT is the lightest thing ever, but nothing compares to how heavy a Challenger is. We know how bad that is. All right, guys, so that's it. That is the list of cars in my 4 categories that I think $100,000 range, Dodge Viper Gen 5. $80,000 range, we've got the GT350 Shelby 6-speed manual. At the $60,000 range, we have the Porsche Cayman, also 6-speed manual. And at the $40,000 range comes in the Mustang GT, again, manual or automatic there, because that 6R80 and 10R80 is a fantastic transmission. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or let me know down below. What is your, at those price ranges, list down below. I want to know what you say at 100,000, 80,000, 60, and 40. You list out in your opinion, within reason, you know, guys, if you want to be a little over 100,000, just like anything, over a little over by 100, little under, same with 80, 60. Let me know what cars in those ranges do you feel you would want to buy. Go classic if you want to. I did list a lot of newer stuff just because it's easy, because prices when you get older, especially something like this, you know, I could list it as the 100,000 range or the $40,000 range, right? Because the supermarket's so up and down and the prices are gotten crazy on. So let me know down in the comments, guys, if you were going to buy a car now, which car would it be at those price ranges? Why is it that you would buy those? All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. If you could do me a big favor, check down below. I've got a merch tab down there for all my new stuff. Again, thank you to Also Tools for helping sponsor this video today. Thank you guys very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.